Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Mazda CX-90. This is the plug-in hybrid Platinum Plus. It's finished off in Platinum Quartz metallic, and the MSRP is just over $60,000. So if you're looking for a three-row SUV that also has that hybrid technology, this is a great option to go with. So we'll start off with what this is powered by, which is the 2.5-liter four-cylinder. It's paired to a 68 kilowatt electric motor along with the 8-speed automatic, and combined it pumps out 323 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. It's all-wheel drive. It will do 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds, and it also has a total range of 27 miles on just the EV system alone. Now, as we work our way up front, you'll notice a very large Mazda logo, which is also the sensor for distance pacing. There's a forward camera, parking sensors too, lots of cutouts within the gloss black grille, where there's also active grille shutters located behind that. You'll notice for this chrome surround for the grille, there's the turn signals and then a dark housing for the headlights and high beams. There's also more chrome for the lower section, along with plenty of cutouts too. And this has about 8 inches of ground clearance, so a very high front bumper there. And then you'll notice a few subtle lines coming down the hood to give it a great look. Now there's also plastic for the lower section of the bumper, which works its way to the fender arches. There's a two-tone design for the wheels, where this also has regenerative braking. You'll notice too the plug-in hybrid logo along with more chrome. It's on the lower side skirt too, where Mazda is stamped on that back section. Now this also has power folding side mirrors with a camera and a turn signal. You'll notice black and chrome for the window trim, brushed accent for the roof rack, and then a full moonroof up top. For a three-row SUV, it also has some really nice proportions to it, especially with this rear design here. And that leads us to the body-colored spoiler, where there's the third brake light, wiper blade, LEDs, there's the backup camera, parking sensors, more chrome integrated into the lower bumper, and this can tow around 3,500 pounds. So if you need to put a bike rack or some smaller items on the back of this vehicle, you have the option to do that. Now you can use the key fob, you can use the release underneath. This also has the hands-free option, so just kick your foot under the center of the bumper to open up the lift gate. Now with this being a three-row SUV, I have the third row in the 50-50 split. So that way you can see the storage that you have when they're up or down. You'll notice too, underneath the floor, there's a little bit of space where you can place in the charging cable and a few other smaller items. There's also several auxiliaries located in the back, along with cargo lights, and there's an area you can place the cover. So you do have to have the third row down in order to utilize that. And then two controls up top to either lock the vehicle or close the lift gate. Now as we work our way to the interior, this is paired with the white, which is a really nice combo. You'll notice there's the manual sunshades, some wood trim accents, Bose for the audio, and then lots of storage down below with that two-tone design. Now this also has the bench style seat for the second row. You can push this button down below, or you can use the release up top, and both of these will do the same function in order to push this seat out of the way. As you can tell, they do move forwards and backwards, so just depending on the legroom that you need, you can further adjust those. Now 5'10", it's a little cramped here, but I have cup holders, auxiliaries, even vents too. I could fit if you moved the seats forward slightly, but I have a decent amount of headroom too, about ½ an inch or so. So I could ride around if I really needed to, slide this seat back. That's about as far back as it would go. You can put your feet under the seat just a little bit and then use that release to easily get out. So it'll be better for smaller kids, of course, but they are going to be practical when needed. Now hopping into the second row, you'll notice there's storage pockets. There's also vents, auxiliaries, heated seats, all the climate adjustments down below, and then the bar underneath to slide these forwards and backwards, and the large armrest with the cup holders. Of course, I have a little bit more headroom, and these seats do recline much farther to make them very comfortable. Now up front, there's the window controls, side mirror adjustments, lock and unlock, and then all of the same materials for the door. And this also has automatic front seats. But as we hop in now, we're greeted with a leather steering wheel. And this is also equipped with paddle shifters. It's an electronic steering wheel, so you can use that control on the side. There's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands. And then using this info button, you can go through a little bit on the right side of the gauge cluster. So you'll notice just by pushing on it several times, that's how you can toggle through all of this information. Not a ton, but it's nice that you can activate some of those. All of the cruise control settings are on the right side. And then there's memory seating adjustments, the lift gate. You have some of the safety tech that you can mute and turn back on. There's parking sensors, traction control, fuel cap release, one air vent. This also has a head-up display. And then for the infotainment system, this is half touchscreen, half not. So you'll notice with the Mazda info, it's not currently a touchscreen, but if I use the dial down below and bump it into the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, that's where this will be touchscreen when you are at a stop. When you are moving, this will default to having to use the controls down below. So with my Apple CarPlay hooked up, you can go through all this information, of course, as needed. And then when you go back into Mazda, you can further go through some of this. So there's some info to look at. You have entertainment and your phone along with navigation, so you can pull that up and get through all of that. And then you do have a good bit of settings to get into. So there's the EV settings. So you can control all of this, including the regen braking. You can look at displays and monitor those with a few settings. There's also sound, safety, and vehicle settings. So you can get into your interior lighting, exterior lighting. There's a few other things here, just depending on how you want them to react. And then you have a few more here, including some system settings too. So just some general information. Now there's the hazard control underneath that, and then air vents and all of the climate adjustments. This also has heated and ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel. There's defrosters. You can get into the rear adjustments too and turn that on and off. And then there's also temperature dials. This has wireless charging. There's an auxiliary wood trim here, along with 2 cup holders. And there's also a few different driving modes. It will also change the color of the background depending on the mode that you are in, so you can go through all of these as needed. And then you can use this control behind it to go through the charge target and to charge the battery while driving, so you can turn that on and off. With this in reverse, this is not a touchscreen system for this feature, so you do have to use the rotary dial down below. Same for the forward camera too, where you have a few different angles. Now there's also a downhill assist, a shortcut to that camera system, so you can quickly pull that up. There's auto hold and the e-brake, volume, favorites, and then the controls for that infotainment. There's also some auxiliaries, and then plenty of storage in the glove box. You get garage door buttons, dome lights, and a sunglass holder too. And then here's a look at visibility. It's very easy to see for this lengthy SUV. And still in sport mode, second gear, here we go. And just like that, we're up to speed. Then I can hold on this right paddle, go back into normal drive there. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the CX90. Really good outlook from the driver's seat here. Very large head-up display as well to view all of that information. And you just have a really good seating position. A lot of nice tech. My one complaint is I still haven't been able to find out how to make this system a touchscreen system. So currently right now it is not, but the controls down below make it very easy to go through. So it is a bit of a reach to get to it. So of course this would be much safer. I do wish though that since sometimes it can be a touchscreen, sometimes it's not, I think it would be nice if it was one or the other fully, but that's just a personal preference. Aside from that, the controls down below have been very easy to use. So very similar to my X5, so I can't fault it for that because it is incredibly easy to use. And I know a lot of people like the layout and the control. There's a lot of physical buttons on this interior. So if you're not looking for everything to be in the screen, I think it's a nice layout with all of the tech. Now, with this being the plug-in hybrid, we have 2 miles on the hybrid range or the EV range. So let's put it into EV mode where it will change the gauge cluster to purple there. And now it's very quiet. So this is pedal to the floor as we get up to speed. And as you can tell, we're up to about 50 miles an hour there. I don't believe there's a speed limit restriction. If there is, it's going to be at least highway speed. So you can take this out on the highway and cruise around in the EV mode. So it's nice that you have that option. And then when you're ready to, you can quickly go back to normal or sport mode and the engine will kick on. And we will have a lot more throttle response with that combined system. So very easy to go through that system. And of course you don't have to go with the plug-in hybrid. So there's other Mazda options like the CX-90 I was in. You can of course get the CX-90 without the hybrid plug-in system too. So it just depends on what is going to work best for you. There's other trim levels as well, depending on your budget too. But the CX-90 is a great vehicle if you're doing a lot of cruising and you want something that's simple but still gives you all of the tech that you would want for a daily driver. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this 2026 CX90 plug-in hybrid Platinum Plus. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.